Amistad and Harper Audio present Cack-Handed, a Memoir by Gina Yashere, read by the author. To my mum. Who else? This book is about me, but really about her. The moment anyone tries to demean or degrade you in any way, you have to know how great you are. Nobody would bother to beat you down if you were not a threat. Cicely Tyson. When I was a kid, my mum would speak in proverbs. She had one for every occasion without fail. Every single occasion. A proverb was used to make a point, prove a point, illustrate a point, and sometimes didn't seem to have a point. But Mum always had one ready to whip out like a Nigerian gunslinger. I could have sworn she made some of them up. Having grown up and discussed at length with other children of Africans, it seems that my siblings and I were not alone, and African parents all over the globe were bombarding their kids with these sayings. Looking back and deciphering these proverbs, there are some wise ones, some hilarious ones, and straight-up crazy ones. As an ode to all those African parents, each chapter of the book is headed by some of mine and my mum's favourites. The definition of cack-handed is left-handed, which I am, and also clumsy and awkward, which I am. It also represents the unconventional track my life and career have taken. This is a book about following your dreams. It's not one of those self-help, lardy-dardy, anything is possible if you just believe and eat nothing but almonds and kale type books. This is a book about wanting something and going for it, despite how ridiculous, impossible, and stupid it sounds to other people. This book's about trying, whether you succeed or not. You can judge at the end of the book whether or not you think I've succeeded, but you better believe I've given it a go, or given it a shot for Americans who prefer everything to have a gun reference. Enjoy. Chapter 1. Man is like pepper. You only know him when you've ground him. My grandmother, Patience Ebuwa Obaseki, died under suspicious circumstances. My mother believes that her father's other wives finally succeeded in getting rid of her by poisoning her food. When she died, she had a large mysterious mark on her throat from either the poison or the injuries sustained during the poisoning. I don't know much about her, and I never saw her, not even in a picture. But my mother tells me that she was a lively and humorous character, and when my mother was a little girl in Nigeria, she would entertain my mother with vividly funny stories and made-up songs. My grandmother was the mother of 6 children and the first of several wives of a wealthy chief and businessman, Samson Okankan Obaseki, in Benin City in southern Nigeria. My grandfather was a member of a family that had links to the ruling echelons of the Benin Empire. Polygamy was widely practiced in Nigeria before British Christian missionaries came along and told them that shit was barbaric and sinful. It didn't dawn or even seem to matter to the missionaries that polygamy was about survival. More wives meant more on your team. The wealthier a man was, the bigger the compound he could own and the more wives he could take care of. Many wives meant many children, and in Nigeria having many children is highly respected and greatly envied. Kind of like in the US, where the bigger the garage, the more cars you put in it. My grandfather was the Nigerian Jay Leno. And for many of his wives, depending on how many sons they produced, this also meant more power. My mother had 13 brothers and sisters from the other wives of her father, but her mother was the first wife and had produced the most children, which made her the most powerful within the compound among the other wives. It also made her a target. My grandmother actually gave birth to 10 children, but mysteriously, all 5 boys she birthed died before they were 3 from mysterious illnesses, and one even to a dog attack. This prompted my grandmother to believe that the other less favoured wives of her husband were practicing juju on her to undermine her standing by casting spells and killing all of her male children, which in Nigerian society, as well as the rest of patriarchy, is the more desired gender. As a result of this, my mother, Grace Nekpen Obaseki, the first of the surviving girls, had 5 younger sisters born from her mother, but no living brothers. Despite my grandmother's lack of living male children, my grandfather still adored his first wife and their girl children, and my mother was his favourite. My mother showed a keen intelligence.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?